When Kyler Murray came out in the draft, we had him as the number one player in the draft very early. We had him as the third best quarterback to come out of college in the previous 5 years. We had him always rated ahead of Burrow, even though we love Burrow. And I'm here to tell you that we were too low on him. Yeah, we were too low on him. And there's a very specific reason for this. And that boils down to the fact that there are traits in the quarterback game that have been evolving for years. And these traits we identified years ago. We had a handle on them with Russell Wilson. We had a handle on them with some of these other hypermobile quarterbacks. And the impact that they make is eviscerating defenses on Sunday. It keeps gaining steam. I figured it would be important and it would hold its value, but it keeps increasing in demand. It keeps increasing in productivity. And the reason for this is all the college concepts that are rushing into the NFL, these quarterbacks can do at a higher level than more of your traditional West Coast offense quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are going away from progressions, from rhythm, from timing, and from or pocket, the footwork that a quarterback is supposed to technically use in the pocket, and they're breaking from the pocket. They are not acknowledging the pocket. They are getting out in their adaptable mechanics. They are using their ball placement instinct. They are using their spatial awareness. And most importantly, hypermobility. These quarterbacks who can make it darn near impossible for your defensive line to run them down, they're breaking defenses. Look at week 1, Arizona, San Francisco. San Francisco's front is amazing. However, Armstead isn't particularly fast, Bosa isn't particularly fast, and Murray really is. And Murray has made that San Francisco matchup by himself a problem on the San Francisco defense. He took the game over at the end. He ripped it. He won the game. Kyler by himself. And this is what makes me wonder why people think Trevor Lawrence is a generational quarterback. Because I thought a generation was 10, 20 years, not 2. Mahomes came out recently. Murray came out recently. And Trevor Lawrence isn't either of them. He's extremely good. And if you're saying that he's generational in the means of he is the best West Coast offense traditional quarterback that we've seen in a generation, okay, I'm there with you. But those aren't the traits that are dominating the game right now. And when Trevor Lawrence was given full control over the Clemson offense in his second year, there were some blips in there. It didn't have that clean transition that you saw with an Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning. So this year is going to be a very big year for the evaluation of Trevor Lawrence, because right now he's a more mobile version of Jared Goff, which is a pretty quarterback. The mechanics are great. The ability to put a ball wherever you want it on the field is great. But it's that adaptable mechanics question. It's the hyper mobility question. It's the ball placement instinct question. How can you throw your wide receivers open and create? Because that's what we see in the league right now. We see the traditionalists and we see the creators, the players who create for themselves at the quarterback position. And those players are running everyone else over. They are breaking defenses by themselves. They're making the offensive line obsolete, and they are increasing the gap between traditionalists and creators on the impact that they make on the game. So we were high on Kyler Murray, extremely high on Kyler Murray, but this kid's marching right to elite. He's putting himself on that Russell Wilson level and walking right to it right now. Because again, I undervalued traits that we identified, but we never gave them the weight that they keep gaining every single year. There's a reason PFF had Russell Wilson as the MVP of the league last year. You don't have to block for him. and he can still make the offense hum. And this is exactly who Kyler Murray is. And this is where that's going. He is going to be MVP caliber, right up there with Mahomes and Wilson. And it's not going to take much longer. And looking at quarterbacks coming out of college for the next couple years, how do you put a Trevor Lawrence ahead of him? Because Trevor Lawrence can't create like Kyler Murray. So he's going to be we've had third best quarterback in the last 6 years, and he's going to end up being the second best quarterback in the last 7. That's how good he is. And people sit there and still say that, oh, he's an air raid creation. No, from the start, it's a Plymouth Rock situation. Kyler Murray didn't get saved by the air raid. The air raid got saved by Kyler Murray. And as the year goes on, as the draft season approaches, we are going to be laying out specifically how to look for these traits that we have identified years ago. We have a name to them. We know what they are, and they're important because you see the reason why they're important on Sunday. So make sure you go down to the bottom and subscribe, because I don't want to sound arrogant on this, but we have poured over the film. And we know other quarterback evaluators mention something along these lines, but there isn't anybody who has these next-gen traits mapped out the way that we have them mapped out. This put us on Josh Rosen as a bust. This put us on Lamar Jackson as the third best quarterback in his draft, and we were still too low because we didn't put enough weight in our own new metrics. This had Kyler Murray as the best quarterback in the draft and the third best quarterback in the last 6 drafts. And again, we didn't put enough weight into our own metrics because he's the second best quarterback in the last 6 years, and it doesn't look like there's a challenger coming. I don't want you to end up in a tar pit with the dinosaurs who are behind the curve. So go down below, subscribe, see what we're seeing, and help yourself evaluate quarterbacks a little bit better. Love you guys. We need you. Stay strong, and I'll see you on the other side.